Some years ago, when I was young, when Minecraft was young, I created a new survival world. Like millions of others, and probably just like you. It was just one new world of many, but this was the world that I would spend the most time in. I found a village at the edge of a desert, close to a jungle in a snow biome. And I was 14, maybe 15, and I had an idea. I wanted to see how many villages I could have by building houses for them, as many as I could. I began by just building dirt huts with doors, but soon I thought of building a wall to protect them from monsters in the night. One block became many, and so over the coming days and weeks I terraformed the landscape. I expanded the walls to the nearby sea, where I included a natural harbor. Weeks became months, and months became years as the village grew into a city. I converted the walls into true fortifications with gates and towers, and I not only built houses, I built aqueducts, a citadel, an arena, a park, a church, rich and poor quarters, sewers, a prison, a library, a temple, a parliament, an observatory, gardens, channels, fields, a public pool, gallows, and even more. And when I couldn't think of another building, I built a stone giant, watching over the city which I called Carthagelon. But what I failed to realize during all these years was that I was not building this city to house my villagers. I didn't build these walls to keep out creepers. This giant sandstone fortress, it was supposed to protect me. At 13, my grades were falling rapidly. The marriage of my parents was breaking apart, and I began seeing myself as somewhat inferior to my peers. Before, I would have escaped such worries in nature, imagining myself building castles, hunting orcs in a forest of my native mountains. At 14, the computer had become my forest, and I would get lost in it, even without access to the internet. In there, the deep sense of hopelessness and worthlessness, the thought of the future and my own capabilities could not find me. In Minecraft, the dark tunnels I dug into the mountains would harbor me. The great underground palaces I built were my canvases, where I could see my sense of beauty become what seemed like reality. But I didn't only want to hide, I also sought worlds where I could see my potential strength fulfilled. There was my favorite RPG, Gothic, a game in which I was brave enough to explore and confront dangers without hesitation. There was Total War, where I could prove my worth as a leader, my worth as a general, who could beat any opponent against all odds. These were the places where I could be the artist, the genius, the highly appreciated leader, which deep down I feared I could never be in the real world. I never consciously admitted that at the time, but deep down I felt it, and I escaped to worlds where I could be all that. But above all the battles of antiquity, above all the adventures in fantastic worlds, my city, my great Carthagelon, is the dearest to me. For only in Minecraft, I can see every second, minute and hour I seem to have wasted, instead of confronting the dark, ominous danger outside my city walls. In every block lies a little of my shame, my fear, my hope, which I felt as a boy, as a teenager, and as a young man. Every sandstone house is a monument to what I could have done instead, if I had escaped this beautiful prison I built for myself. Challenges I could have attempted, people I could have met, successes I could have celebrated, and failures I could have learned from. My desert city is 10 years old now. When I began writing this, I had hoped to come to some other conclusion about this virtual work of mine, something positive, something consoling. But instead, my conclusion is anger. Anger towards myself for being too weak to break out of my prison. Anger at my blindness and ignorance. Anger towards games. Anger towards those that did not save me from my prison when it cost me the most. But what is done is done. I cannot tear down these walls and delete these files and get all this time back. Nor can I uninstall the games from Steam and receive compensation for the hundreds of hours which I spent in GTA, Total War or Skyrim. None of us can, and I believe few of us would want to forget all of it. And indeed, I cannot hate my desert city. I cannot help but enjoy walking through these monuments of foolishness and fear, and feel for the boy who built them. I cannot deny the beauty of it. So what else is there to do, as anger and sadness changes nothing? I suppose all that I, and all of you who feel the same, can do is learn from it. Perhaps we will be better able to empathize with those that build walls around them, virtual ones or others. Perhaps by knowing what it feels like to build a prison around us, we can help others break free from one.